Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today.
On Friday, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said that he did not believe Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic. And on the next Saturday, we had your Nets owner, Joe Tsai, stating that he also didn't believe Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic. Now, this is a major about-face for Joe Tsai and Adam Silver and the NBA as related to your Kyrie Irving and his alleged anti-Semitism. Now, before this about-face, many were stating that your Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic because he went out here and posted a link to the documentary Hebrews to Negroes, which had been on Amazon.com for 5 years. And because your Kyrie Irving posted this link to Hebrews to Negroes on his social media, there were many saying that your Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic. However, these individuals, because they were offended, they wanted to go out here and demand that the NBA go out here and do something to punish your Kyrie Irving. Now, the NBA and the Nets suspended Kyrie Irving indefinitely with a minimum of 5 games. And in order for your Kyrie Irving to be able to return to play on the court for the NBA, there was a series of 6 stipulations presented, and once these stipulations were shown to most in the black community, many realized how excessive this punishment was. And this punishment that was being presented as related to Kyrie Irving, who had already apologized for the posting this link, this is what really offended most in the black community, because it looked like what these people were doing was they were trying to go out here and buck break your Kyrie Irving by making him jump through a series of hoops. Now, as somebody who was bullied in junior high school and high school, I can tell you that the stipulations that were presented to Kyrie Irving were extremely excessive, and it looked like basically what these individuals wanted to do was see if they could go out here and get your Kyrie Irving to go out here and jump through these hoops, because they got off on the power and leverage that they had as related to this whole situation with Kyrie Irving. And what they wanted to do was humiliate this black man and have him out here on his knees begging and pleading for his job. And that's when members of the black community stood up for your Kyrie Irving. And what I saw on social media in response to that whole list of demands for Kyrie Irving was a lot of black people going out here and saying that they were going to boycott the NBA, and they were also going to boycott companies like Nike because they saw the flagrant disrespect presented to them by the owners of the NBA and these teams and these corporations like Nike as related to Kyrie Irving. And because they saw this whole incident as an attempt by white supremacy to go out here and buck break a black man, all because they were white and they said so, many black people were looking to go out here and stand up for Kyrie Irving by standing by his side. And as they were looking to stand up by standing at the side of Kyrie Irving, what they were getting ready to do was walk away from the NBA and take their black dollars and keep them in their pocket. And this is what I believe led to your Adam Silver and Joe Tsai looking to go out here and backpedal as related to the whole Kyrie Irving situation, because as they were out here looking to punish Kyrie Irving for posting that link to Hebrews to Negroes, what was happening was they were creating a Streisand effect, and that Streisand effect was causing more people to go over to Amazon's website to go check out the documentary Hebrews to Negroes. And as they were out here watching the documentary that many were alleging was anti Semitic, was becoming more and more popular because as more people started seeing for themselves and making their own assessment about this documentary, this is what led to your NBA and the Nets really realizing that they had already made a major mistake as related to your Kyrie Irving, because as people were out here making their own observations and opinions regarding Hebrews to Negroes, this was creating a major public relations backlash, and this is why you have your NBA commissioner and the Nets owner looking to go out here and make that about face as related to Kyrie Irving. Many of these people who came up with these stipulations thought they could go out here and use them as leverage to go out here and humiliate and buck break a black man, but that it had the opposite effect because the black community was looking to stand up and stand against the NBA, and this would lead to them having a major publicity backlash, because what would happen is that the whole argument would not be about alleged anti-Semitism. No, it would be about the First Amendment, because as many foundational black Americans were coming out, they were talking about how Kyrie Irving's constitutional rights were being violated as related to his freedom of speech and his freedom of religion, because your Kyrie Irving basically had become to a spiritual awareness, and he was looking to share with others his spiritual awareness, and what the NBA was doing was looking to violate Kyrie Irving's constitutional rights, and this would be where your NBA and your Nets would have no legs to stand on, because every black American citizen is supposed to be guaranteed rights under the U.S. Constitution, and what it looked like was that your NBA and your Nets were looking to deny your Kyrie Irving his constitutional rights, and that's why we saw this about face that we're seeing right now. And we're seeing this about face because they know that they've painted themselves into a corner as related to their excessive punishment of Kyrie Irving, and because they've painted themselves into a corner as related to Kyrie Irving, this is why we're seeing this about face, and this is why we're seeing your Joe Tsai and your Adam Silver back away, because they know that what they really were doing was what many slave masters used to do on the slave plantations, and what they wanted to do was deny a black man his rights as an American citizen, and they wanted to place him in a place where he was considered to be 3/5 of a person. That's basically what they were trying to do as they were trying to go out here and deal with this uppity black guy, Kyrie Irving. They were looking to buck break this black man through cancel culture, and they were hoping to go out here and humiliate him, to make an example out of him, and make that example to the point where no other black person would go out here and stand up for their constitutional rights. That's what this whole situation with posting that link was all about. They hoped to go out here and hide behind one religious group in order to impose white supremacy on the black community. So what happened that they didn't expect was that black men and black women on social media started standing up, and as they started standing up, they started to pull up, and as they pulled up, they were pulling up on the NBA to let them know that racism and white supremacy that they were trying to push on Kyrie Irving would get major pushback. And what many in the NBA, these owners and the NBA commissioner, are scared of is the fact that you're going to have black people out here calling the NBA the racist organization that it is and organizing a boycott of your Nike, the sneaker company that gets billions of dollars from the black community, and also getting a boycott of many black viewers who would stop watching the games, and possibly we would see a lot of the players start to say they were going to not play these games. So the NBA ownership was up crap creek without a paddle, because you had many players coming out and saying that this punishment was excessive. You even had bootlicks like Stephen A. Smith coming out and saying that the punishment was excessive. And but the whole foundation for this pushback was new black media and the grassroots. And that's something that really started to scare these NBA owners, seeing that the grassroots were pushing back and the grassroots was building up this momentum. And if this momentum had pushed further, it would have really shown that the NBA was a racist organization, and it would have really damaged the NBA's reputation. And now what they're trying to do is get out of the hole they created as related to the whole Kyrie Irving situation, the whole situation that was basically a crap test to see if they could go out here and buck break this black man. And once they saw that there was going to be resistance, that's why we see all of them backing away. And they're backing away in the NBA because they know that where they get their money from, and because they know where they get their money from, they don't want to alienate the biggest customer base, which is the black community. But I say the black community needs to continue pushing back, because this disrespect needs to be dealt with, and black people need to take their respect, because when you disrespect one of us, you disrespect all of us. And this disrespect that is presented to us really needs to be given some pushback, because again, if you try this once, you need to be sent a message never to try this again. And the fact that many black people don't understand how much disrespect was presented to them, this is troubling, because what was presented here was an attempt to buck break, humiliate, and just degrade a black man to get the black masses back in line. And that just shows how little respect they have for black customers who supported their products for years, made the NBA a billion-dollar organization, and it just shows how little value they have for the black dollar. And since they don't value the black dollar, black people really need to start considering not spending their money on these Nike sneakers or going to these NBA games or buying this NBA apparel, because we should not go any place that treats any of us like a slave. No, if they can't give us respect, they don't deserve to get our dollars. And that's what this backpedaling is all about, because they wanted to go out here and try to tell a black man how to live. And that's not their right, because every black American citizen has a right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion. And that's what these owners were looking to take away from Kyrie Irving until they got caught. And that's why they're backpedaling right now, trying to get themselves out of this situation, trying to find a way to weasel their way out of the oppression they were deliberately participating in. Because, again, anybody could go out here and post a link onto Amazon. And again, you don't see any sort of attack on Amazon, which was the whole troubling thing. I mean, and what's even more troubling to me is you wanted to attack this man for posting something on his social media. I post links to my books on Amazon every day, and it's just scary to me, because if this whole thing with Kyrie Irving was allowed to stand, if somebody posted a link to one of my books, they could say things that they were pro-black or some things like that, because I present positive images of black people. I mean, you could have people just going out here making all sorts of, allegations so that they could go out here and destroy someone. That is the scary precedent that the Kyrie Irving situation is really troubling. And again, the NBA, they're trying to get out of a situation where they were caught with malice aforethought, trying to take away the rights of a black American. And that is something that should not go unchecked. I mean, and the way we deal with that is by voting with our dollars. If companies can't give us our respect, then we need to take our presence away from these individuals like the NBA and let them know that if you don't value us, you're not going to get any of our black dollars or our black labor. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to go out here and help me go out here and pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct Imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Pick up your copy of John Haynes at Death's Door at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere.